Hello and welcome to Angry Andy Reviews, and this is my review for The Five Bloods. Now, The Five Bloods is a Netflix released movie directed by Spike Lee about several black Vietnam War veterans who return to find their fallen comrade and a cache of gold they all hid away at the height of the conflict. The film not only explores the lasting impressions and ravages of the Vietnam War and the overbearing immorality of the conflict and its continuing effect on soldiers and civilians alike, but the moving and continuing social turmoil that black combatants experienced during and after the war, which in itself is more relevant and vital than ever. Spike Lee immediately has the number on American politics and social injustices that, to a point, this film feels as though it was made within the last month. It's really quite remarkable. It hits the nail on the head with every major point of inequality and racial prejudice, providing a clear through line between black history prior to, during, and continually so after the Vietnam War and up to our present day. The film does border a fine line within the issues it raises and the wider context, perhaps a little too much, so much so that it does at points almost detract from what are some incredibly powerful and meaningful performances and moments, especially from Delroy Lindo, who must surely be recognised and noted, at least for the singular straight-to-camera monologue that he does, which is one of the great moments of any film so far this year in 2020. The seemingly random interjections of history do at times feel a bit on the nose, but they are given credence to the characters and their motivations as they all suffer and come to terms with their own pasts and their own individual nightmares. This is evidence of Spike Lee's incredible sense of journey for these characters. The characters are all shaped not only by their immediate past in Vietnam, but the wider context of history that shapes their moral understanding and decisions when they return to look for their fallen squad leader. Delroy Lindo's performance absolutely cements this. He is at once the very essence of a tragic figure, shaped not only by the prejudice that he experiences on a day-to-day basis after the war, but his continuing manufactured hatred and fear of the people he fought against during it. All the major players are fantastic alongside Delroy Lindo, featuring Clark Peters, Norm Lewis, Isaiah Whitlock Jr. These veteran actors provide solid, meaningful clarity to Spike Lee's ambition and provide a revelatory amount of energy needed to sell some of the film's more emotional, impactful moments and the flashbacks whereby they play themselves at their current age alongside Chadwick Boseman's squad leader Stormin Norman. And that sort of highlights, the fact that obviously Chadwick Boseman's character never grew up, he never got to the stage where they are, he never experiences the continuing prejudices that they all experience. And in a weird way, Chadwick Boseman's character has a magical sense of, thought about what he's going to do after, what the whole cache of money is going to do, what he wants to do with that, and it's hopeful and completely at odds with how Delroy Lindo's character eventually becomes. The great part of this film is that you can feel the friendship and sense of unity between all the characters, even though for some the war still haunts them. And the ensemble nature is reinforced by Jonathan Majors playing Delroy Lindo's son here. And this, without giving anything away, is where the crux of the film's most hardened emotional moments and payoffs come from. As heavy as The Five Bloods can be at times, there are moments of wonderful humour and signature actor moments, and anyone who is a fan of Isaiah Whitlock Jr. will know exactly what I mean there. And this helps paint what is, in the end, a very moving picture of camaraderie and loss. The objectives of these characters to find their friend, the gold, and then move on to find, the life of luxury evolves as they do and falls apart as they do. There is a danger with this film that towards the end it does seem to lose a bit of steam as it shifts to an all-action finale, which isn't bad. It is pretty darn intense, truth be told. It just feels a touch out of place, and the ending does feel messy and drops the idiosyncrasies that are prevalent throughout in favour of a snap finish. But Spike Lee's film hits the mark for the groundwork and initial exploration of character, the acknowledgement and blending of socio-political commentary, both past and present, for these characters as soldiers fighting in a war that nobody wanted for a country that didn't want them. That helps create a language of heartfelt emotions, thoroughly reinforcing the very issues being seen in the United States and around the world at present, even though that may well end up being at the expense of some narrative beats. I feel that people will see many differing aspects of this film, and that alone highlights what is the overall experience of The Five Bloods. For me, this is a poignant and important piece of filmmaking, beautifully shot and styled, brutal at times, but vitally thought-provoking throughout. The only negative I have really is that some of the narrative beats do tend to just drift away, unfortunately, either as a result of certain stylistic choices or the all-action finale at the end. But still a really good film. I'm giving this film an 8 out of 10. I would very much recommend you all see this. This is probably one of the best releases so far this year, and I would thoroughly expect it to take a lot of recognition going forward at the award season, whenever that will be next year. But there you have it, that's an 8 out of 10 for The Five Bloods. What have we got coming? Well, there are a numeral and a great many amount of films coming out soon. I have watched The King of Staten Island. I will be doing a review of that very shortly. There are a couple of other films that I'm looking to get ahead of and get them watched as well, to provide reviews for them. A couple of older ones as well that I'll be doing very quick reviews of on the Facebook page, but you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on the Facebook page. All the links are down below. Check them out if you want to. Like and subscribe to this channel. But thank you very much for watching this review. Bye bye.